Welcome to this interview with Vanessa Hastings. She is a local artist and businesswoman. You can find her website is actually artbyvanessa.co.uk.
That's right.
We'll talk about that soon. My name's Rachel and I'm shining a light on Calmness, and I've got some questions for Vanessa today. We are in Vache Bleue Gallery. Lovely. And thank you for taking the time.
Pleasure.
So, Vanessa,
Yes.
just tell me a bit about yourself. Where did you grow up?
Okay, so I was born in New Zealand. I grew up in Hong Kong, so quite an international flavour to me. I did formative studies in Hong Kong, so up to O-levels. I then studied A-levels in the UK because they didn't do music, O-level in Hong Kong, and that was my thing, music. Not art, music at that time.
Music's my first love too.
Okay, yeah, okay. So came to England to do A-level music, then a degree in music, and pursued a music career for a while in the 90s.
Nice.
But needed income.
Okay.
So became a secretary.
What kind of music career?
I wrote songs originally, and I was offered a publishing deal, but turned it down because I didn't have anybody really to advise me on how to sign a contract, and unfortunately I was quite naive, didn't pursue it, and the music industry is a tough business.
It is.
You've got to have some balls.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Oh.
So I went into office work and then basically built a PA career for 30 years. Until COVID hit,
Oh.
and I resigned to pursue art and craft workshops for well-being. That's where I am now.
So, tell me about the kind of things that motivated that. Like, in particular, were there any health issues, anything?
No, nothing to do with me. It was all about, I'm a really good teacher, and I'm a really good customer service person. So I wanted to give back to others
Okay.
in a teaching environment. So I've done piano lessons, I've qualified massage therapist, but I wanted to do something for the corporate market that could actually make more money than just service one person at a time. So piano lessons, one person at a time, a certain income. Okay, so
Yeah.
massage, one person at a time, certain income. Corporate market, I have ready-made teams, and I can deliver a workshop to a team of people for well-being, but it was more of a revenue generator for me. So I do have a little bit of my business brain
It
switched
sounds
on.
really exciting.
Yeah.
Going in and
Yeah.
working with.
Yes, so I did a workshop for Britvic. This is what spurred it on. They had a learning week in their office, and most of the things that they were sharing were lectures, data, where you had to log onto a platform. And I thought, no, let's do some painting. Let's do a practical experience, right? Put your phone down, take your shoes off. So
Shoes off?
Yes, we took our shoes off. I covered the boardroom in plastic,
Okay.
protective sheets, and I was fully booked, and we had 12 people in the boardroom doing acrylic pouring, and that planted the seed. And that was October 2019.
And that was your very first workshop?
Very first corporate workshop.
Wow.
Yep, so I had sign-off from HR, excuse me, delivered this workshop, everybody created a piece of art that they loved, and that planted a seed, and then COVID hit and I built my business in COVID.
So the one workshop sort of sealed
That
the
was
deal,
That was
based
it.
on
I
how
thought,
you
I've gotta
felt
try.
and everyone
I've
else
just got to
felt.
try this. I've worked in an office for 30 years. 30 years. And I
Office.
thought, let's just try something else. And I left the best job so far in my career. So I
Oh,
knew
wow.
it was a kind of calling.
So you had to almost beat that. It was your best job, but to create something even better.
Yeah. It's not about the money as well. And I know you mentioned that earlier to me. Calling is not about the money.
No.
It's about what you're giving to other people, right? So
What you want to create in this world.
yeah, and you know, I'm a fun person, and instilling that in corporate employees who can sometimes, well, I know at the moment, get bogged down with the
A bit
workload.
serious in the shirts.
Exactly. We take 1 hour and we do something creative, mindful, non-hierarchical. Everybody's in it together. You all start at the beginning. You all start at the same level. So the boss and the junior recruit doing the same thing together.
Very important.
That's important.
So yeah, I stepped out of the hierarchy of academia, university, research department, professor, and all of that formality and the blazer, the meetings and agendas, and now I'm here in my Tai Chi clothes interviewing you. So I'm gassed with my life, honestly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can we go back a little bit with the teaching? So you love teaching.
Yes.
How did that start? Was it piano? Was that the first thing you
My
taught?
teaching journey. Well, I think being a PA made me that, or I was already that kind of person. But being a PA, you're a service person.
Yeah.
Right? You're helping the
help
boss, the
people.
line manager.
Yeah.
You're helping the company. You are a service person. And I was always a service person. It was never about me.
Yeah.
So
it's people.
People driven.
Yeah.
Customer service driven. What can I do that will make me money, good money?
I'm just interested in your journey of finding out you love teaching, because it can take people forever to figure out what they love and what they know about themselves.
First?
Yeah, what did you teach first?
That's a really good question.
You don't have to remember, but you mentioned piano and massage.
Oh no, massage therapist.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I got a distinction. When I do something, I have to do it the best I can do it. So I was top of the class in massage, which was great.
So
massage.
When would you say that was your first? How long ago?
I did massage for a year in 2017, and that was to get out of a job I wasn't happy in. I thought I've got to find something else.
Exploring your happiness.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unfortunately, I didn't leave because of the massage, because that's really hard doing massage. Tough.
So let's talk about your speciality, art and craft.
So
what does it mean? What is it to you personally? What is arts and crafts, and anything specific?
So here's how I see it. I'm good at teaching. I'm good at codifying something into a 1-hour workshop. So whatever it is I'm delivering is kind of less important. It just has to be deliverable and rewarding to the people I'm teaching it to.
Okay.
The fact that I fell into arts and crafts was because I did that workshop for Britvic, and it was something I knew well, acrylic pouring. I have a bit of imposter syndrome, I think. Am I an artist? Am I? What makes an artist, right? Is it creating art that somebody wants to buy? Does that make you an artist? What makes you, or is it just you throw paint on a canvas, I'm an artist?
This is deep, Vanessa.
Yeah, so...
But imposter syndrome is real for a lot of people.
It is.
Very real. They talked about it in university a lot, because people, especially trying to do a PhD, get it. And people in workshops on for us. Okay. And I said to someone one day, what if you are the imposter? And they were all laughing, but I carried that with me because I was the imposter in UH. None of my family had been to university, so...
And you thought, well, why me? What gives me the right to be a student? Or what was it?
Put it this way, I don't feel that way in Tai Chi at all. No imposter syndrome. Very early days for me. There are people who've been teaching for 40 years, in the TCF, but I know where I am or where I want to be and where I feel right. So when you make art for yourself, do you feel like an imposter? At what point does this come in? It's quite interesting for me. Is it the whole time? Because I doubt, if you sit and just make art because you feel like making art, do you feel it then?
No.
Is it when you come to sell it?
Yeah, what makes my art valuable enough for somebody to pay their hard-earned cash for it?
But it's so subjective, isn't it?
Yes,
because
it is.
You can come at such different prices. You could charge 100 to millions. But isn't it on the name I don't really understand
Well, yeah,
art as a
there's
business,
that,
but it's like,
brands,
yeah, you
there's
have
the
to be a
brand
brand and a name.
Correct. So, yeah, so who am I, Vanessa? What makes my brand valuable, right? So that's where I'm going, that's where I'm at the moment. But I am creating a focus down onto two concepts of art. Because to have a brand, you need to specialise.
Clear.
You need to specialise.
Yeah.
You have to be known for a style.
Yeah.
And because I do workshops, my style's all over the place.
So that couple, we just saw art from a couple who
Yeah.
the man paints his wife,
Yeah.
he's done some of them together, so you can see, I feel like that seems authentic for them, and
Yeah,
maybe
very.
that's what helps you make it, so
Very.
you find what it is within you
Correct.
that you want to share.
And what you can
That's-
do over and over again.
Yes.
You have to repeat it, right?
Because the lovely owner of this gallery, Olesya, she kind of enlightened me to the fact, because I've never really collected art, but that once someone likes an artist, then they want to collect that
Right.
artist.
That's
That artist's
super
work.
valuable. Yeah.
Yeah.
To find.
So it's
You
why
have
you
to have
don't
an
want
ideal
to
customer.
digress, you want to
Yeah.
produce in your theme.
Correct. And
Yeah.
then you find those customers that like your style. You're not appealing to the mass market.
Do you feel like you've got that?
No, not yet. I'm working on it.
No, that's fine.
It's a new.
It's
branch
okay, we
for
learn
me.
it by student time. It's okay not to know.
Yeah.
But most people don't feel like it's okay. They stress
Yeah.
themselves out.
And that's the imposter syndrome. You're
It's
on a
okay.
journey.
Yeah, you are. And you've got to figure
You've
out
got to keep going.
your
Yeah.
style.
And that takes decades. That takes years.
So
So
just keep
respect
painting
to
and you'll
everybody.
find it.
Exactly.
I did have a look at the art yourself and I like it. It's obviously, but if you don't feel that it's your niche and your thing, then
No,
you're
so
just
I
going to
said
keep
to
going.
Olesya, I'm not going to show you what I'm working on yet because I need to convince myself first that that is Vanessa.
Okay. Interesting.
So
So
watch this
does
space.
art come, your resonance with art, can you connect it to your childhood in any way?
No, I was
No,
never
early
an artist.
experience
I
of-
never painted. No,
Okay.
this is a mature adult thing.
Looking for joy as an adult,
Yeah.
things that you enjoy.
What can I teach somebody else for stress relief, anxiety relief, downtime in an office? You know, so I have 15 different workshops. They're not. I
Wow.
don't specialise in acrylic pouring. I do Zentangle, which is mindful patterns,
Yeah, love
right? Origami,
it. Yeah. Scraper,
scraper art,
neurographic.
spray art, neurographic art.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love your range.
Thank
of art.
you. You
Very
noticed. So the workshops are broad.
Yep.
Because that's all about retaining clients and offering something else to them.
What about you though? And be honest, do you do art for you sometimes? Like, because you've got these
Yes.
workshops that help other people, so you know
I
it's
do,
calming.
yes, I
But do
do.
you do it for you?
So I do something creative every day. 'Cause I
Yes,
love
that was my
it.
next question. So is there any kind of daily practice? And you said, yeah,
I'm
every
drawn
single
to
day you
do
create
something every day. Yes, whether it's at the moment I'm working on my humongous origami piece.
So there's pieces you go
Every-
back to.
I've got boxes of creative stuff all over my house, up the
Lovely.
stairs, on the landing, in both spare bedrooms, and I will pick up something and revisit it there.
And
Yeah.
do you go with like in the flow if you feel like doing
Yes,
this thing, even if you've
100%.
got to get back to the big project?
No, I have to,
Will you?
work comes first,
Okay.
so I have to do my work because that's my revenue. I need the money. But then
Is there a bit of tension between that?
Yeah.
Like the pull to, I want to create this, but I
Definitely, good
need
question.
to create that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So there's something I need to do today, but I would rather be working on my origami piece.
How big's this origami piece?
It's 1 metre by 1 metre.
Wow.
So I
Was it for
ordered-
you, or was it?
It's to sell.
Oh, to sell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I ignore the imposter syndrome. I'm making it. I'm doing it.
Has this doing something creative every day changed over the years that you've been doing it? Because it's your personal, almost private daily practice.
Yes. Has it changed?
And do you add, I'm kind of really interested in this daily practice, so like, what have you added things over the years, like it could be small, like a cup of tea, or that you do
Oh,
a
I
certain
see.
time of day, or...
Yes. Okay. So bear in mind that I have my business for 15 months only.
Okay.
Okay. So before that, I worked in corporate.
Yep.
As a PA. So
Yeah.
it's still new.
Yeah.
I am still working out a weekly schedule. I'm still working out how I work best.
Yeah.
So, for example, I don't do anything really before 11 a.m.
Oh.
Because I want to lie in. I've woken up to an alarm clock for 30 years. So I'm still kind of figuring it out. But I now have a weekly schedule. I've broke my day up. I have structure. If you don't have structure, you're not going to achieve as much as you can, right? So I have a structure. I have a glass of red wine at lunchtime.
Ooh.
Boom.
Boom.
Right? I cook. I have my chicken. I go to the gym, so I need my protein, my rice, carbs, and I have a glass of red wine at lunchtime. Partly because I can, but also because it's polyphenols and good for you. So, but I try not to be too rigid in my structure because I'm a creative.
I get it.
And I'm off. I'm here. I've got to do that, and I've got to do it now.
I get it. It's really interesting that there needs to be structure, but you need freedom.
Some structure, but some freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I, oh no, I wouldn't be very good. At 11 o'clock, you're doing this.
I'm with you. I don't start anything till 11ish, and that's because over the last few years I've found the things that work for me and help me stay calm, and they do involve morning gratitude affirmations on my window seat with a decent coffee, one page of a book. I do the school run. I walk every single morning from there to my allotment. I do my allotment for at least half an hour, and then I'll go past the local field and I'll do my outdoor morning Tai Chi practice.
Oh my word.
So I found that all of those things converge to make me feel so connected, happy, and like myself, and then I can just go about my day with good energy.
The intention. That's
vibes.
brilliant. Yeah. So I go out for coffee every morning.
I've discovered you love a Costa.
Yeah.
Other coffees are available, but
no, they're not. Costa.
So just a bit of a random question, most people say no to this. Have you ever written about art? Have you written about this thing called art or craft?
No, I haven't. No, I have.
You haven't done a poem or anything? Sometimes that...
No, I was never good at lyrics, writing my own songs. So I wrote the music and I used to collaborate with lyricists.
Yeah.
Who have amazing imaginations and would write some fantastic lyrics. And I would write the music.
And you'd share it. It's so
I would go and perform the songs.
I did music production. I've written songs. I would never share them. Because I've never wanted to sing in front of anyone.
Yes, it's how you then...
So then, people would sing me all the time, right, how are you going to be a producer if you don't, like, at least get them ghost vocaled by a ghost vocalist? You have to let the ghost vocalist know. I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Well, that's fine. That makes
my choice. Just sit on my beats, never share them.
Sit on my beats. Beatrix or beats?
No, my song. My tracks. So, if you had to pick one or two or more workshops, or it doesn't have to be workshops, forms of art or craft, what would you say is your favourite?
For me, or to deliver to a company?
Okay, what's your favourite to deliver?
Acrylic pouring.
It sounds great.
Acrylic pouring, guys. If
I'm on the lookout for acrylic pouring.
It is a wow workshop.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
We do the flip cup technique.
I'll have to ask Olesya if she wants to do something.
We do. Oh gosh, that would be dangerous.
I'm just full of ideas.
But yes, let's run a workshop in a gallery.
I'm here for it.
Acrylic pouring number
what about
one, origami number two.
To deliver or to do for yourself?
Both. So isn't that interesting?
I'm massively interested in origami.
But the interesting point there is, the two I mentioned that I'd love to deliver are the two I'm now focusing on for my own art. Beautiful. Acrylic pouring, large origami installations.
We like this.
We're coming
Clarity is good for calmness.
Yeah, and that takes a long, long time to figure out what you're going to focus on in life. It really does.
It's taken me a long time, but I don't think you can figure it out without doing.
You have to do.
And asking yourself, how do I feel about this?
How do I feel?
I never used to measure things like that. I would say, is this a good use for my time?
Yeah, measure.
I was so tightly wound up. That was my question. Is this a good use of my time? And if it wasn't helpful for other people in a way that was breaking my back, it wasn't a good use of my time.
Okay. Love that.
Now is this fun? Is it easy? Do I love it?
Well, no. If it's easy, then you're doing something wrong.
No, okay. Could I make this any easier and
Okay,
Fun.
can I refine my process?
I never ever thought in that way, so trust me, it's quite important
Okay.
for me. But I don't want to lose that, Vanessa. It's important for me
Am
to
I in
make
my
things
comfort zone?
easy.
Yes, then you're not trying hard enough. Do I have
What's the best
haters?
that?
Oh, I'm not marketing myself hard enough. Oh God, the amount of stuff I've read. Rachel?
Right, here's my key question.
Killer question.
Can art and or craft calm the mind?
That's what it's for.
Love it.
That's what it's for. Yeah.
Does it calm your mind?
Yes, but I don't think about anything else when I'm doing it.
You already got self can say, can you describe how? But yeah. So that sounds like mindfulness to me, and there's lots of words for mindfulness, but you mean you're attending to the thing in front of you?
Yeah, but I think where it's super powerful as team building is they've never done it before. So you have to concentrate and focus, certainly on origami, because that can go wrong if you don't follow the steps of the folds.
Do you find people quieten down? Like, does the noise in the room quieten down when they're focused in?
Zentangle method, yes, because that's all about repetitive strokes. So you learn a stroke and you repeat the stroke. You have to concentrate. So I do that online. It's silent, which is great, but I just try and make sure people aren't bored. So I do speak and just say, is everyone okay?
Yeah.
But then also I leave pauses because you have to draw these strokes. So Zentangle is an art therapy, and there is anecdotal evidence that it helps stress, pain management, and it's used in hospitals. So that is a really, really good one for.
And it's anyone can do it.
Anybody can do it.
Anyone.
Yeah, so it's super powerful. Zentangle.
I'm guessing you've heard of Indian ink drawing.
Not really.
I hadn't, but in my very first interview for this blog, my main Tai Chi teacher, Kevin, he shared with me that he has done loads of those and he only has one left for himself to share a picture with me because he gave them all away.
Oh.
And I was son, it's just little dots.
Oh, it's dots.
Over,
Okay.
yeah.
To make an image?
I'll send you a picture of
Lovely.
this, yeah.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, I find, the way you described that, I thought of that as very mindful and pulling you in because you said repetitive, that's what made me think of it. You just keep going with the same. It's how we talked about hand sawing being very calming and almost. I think hand saws. If anyone who wants to try this, get a piece of wood and a hand saw. It won't cost you much money, but you just practice finding flow with that because something you can't rush.
Yes.
And for me, all kinds of things that soothe me: the smell of the wood, the sound. And also the fact that you can't rush it because it just connects me to the thing. There is a flow, and trying to speed up does not get you there.
Yes, like that.
Okay. I want to tell you about a mind still water, something I'm using that I mentioned to everyone I interview. Basically, it's an ancient concept. You think of a mind that is still like water. Like a lake, perfectly still on the surface, it can reflect reality perfectly, like a mirror.
Yeah.
So you can see the trees, the sky, and the clouds maybe absolutely perfectly. So if a mind can be quiet enough, still enough to reflect, then it can reflect reality clearly. So by reflecting, I mean you can sit and think about your life, your friendships, where you want to go, your job, what changes you need to make, who you are, what resonates, or any kind of reflections. But if the water is distorted, so if you throw a rock in, imagine ripples, they ripple away and they distort the image. And so if the mind is noisy or too full of things that are disturbing the calmness, then it can no longer reflect clearly, and actually there may be distortions driving behaviour, potentially fear is a massive one, it was for me. So, did you get any imagery? Could you see that water and clarity when I was saying it to you? Did you?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, so
that. Yes.
What do you think about that concept?
I think you need both calm and ripples because you can't do everything by yourself. So the ripples are people you speak to, negative situations that arise can make you better, right? So I think it's really good with both. I think you need the
No one's raised that, and that is great, because
Yeah.
everyone's about balance, and actually it's like saying you just want to have a joyful life all the time.
No.
But if you never experience pain, you can't appreciate the highs.
To grow,
We
you
need
need to
both.
fail. You
Yeah.
need to keep failing, but you need to get up. Right? That's growth. That's success. You have to have the ripples. If you're building a business, certainly you need to fail and you need to learn and you need other people. Several of my workshops have come around from a ripple on the lake because it's not been my idea. It's not been my challenge. It's somebody else's challenge. And I've gone, oh, I like that. I'm going to figure that out for you.
So ideas can be ripples.
Yeah.
Other people. I like it.
Right?
Because one of my things I wonder about is it anything? Is it any form of stimulation, thought, any sensory image, any smell, any sound, anything? And all of these things, if you leave too many things unchecked, undealt with, I like to call them unresolved vibrations,
Right.
it just becomes a complete clutter.
Sure.
And actually, when your mind's like that, I think it affects your home.
Yeah.
Your home can become cluttered too.
Yeah.
You're not. I think they reflect each other, and it's how I've come to see our internal state almost creates our external reality.
Yeah, that's like overwhelm, isn't it?
I was definitely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring this up now is it's a theory or an imagery that really helped me, because it helped me take responsibility for noticing when my mind was too full and trying to figure out what I could do about that. And I found it a very active process, and I found lots of things that helped me to calm and centre and quieten my mind, and that's why I want to write about them and interview people about them for the rest of my days, because it's vast. That's my understanding of it, and yet I feel like there's a lot of people out there who've tried meditation. Oh, hello. Sorry, it's happening. So anything can happen. Dictaphone. And they might be put off with that one or two experiences of meditation and the stress of trying to calm down or empty their mind too quickly without the ability to just be okay with whatever is doing now is one of the barriers to calmness in itself. So that thing of I must empty my mind. For a start, you can't empty your mind.
Yes.
Thoughts are always going to come and go. So this mind like still water thing almost begs the question to me: how do we deal with that?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it's probably one I can't answer.
No, it's fine.
You know, there are techniques, aren't there, and coping strategies and
lots.
Empowerment
Breath
techniques.
work is for me the fastest way and a key part of Tai Chi for centering and calming down to the quiet place. Yeah, there are people who can't work with the breath yet; it scares them, so they might need to start with something else. But I think a lot of people might get it from walking and yet not think of that as their quietude practice.
Yeah. Okay.
But we know walking clears the mind, and there's clear reasons there. For me, it's human speed. So we can process what's happening around us and connect to people, environment, locality. That's good for us.
Yeah, understand.
So you don't need to answer this, but does anything come to mind for you in terms of any ripples or distortions that you've had to deal with that may have been making your life seem overwhelming, but once you actively dealt with them in whatever way, you feel like the water's settled and you can think more clearly?
Yeah. Challenges of life. Everybody has the challenges of life. Something breaks, a product arrives that you've not ordered and it's faulty, all this broadband, whatever, all these problems, right? I am trying, I'm not perfect at it, to just deal with it rather than leave it to fester, right? Because the more things that fester, the worse you feel and the bigger your to-do list. And unfortunately, if you don't deal with them, it can really affect your mood.
Your whole life.
Right, this has not been plain sailing this 15 months. I've been down here, I've been up here. I'm quite an emotional person, so I'm trying to balance the peaks and troughs more. And I think one strategy is to just deal with problems as they arise. Success and having a business is all about how you deal with problems, not successes. It's how you deal with
And the problems you've chosen,
not
in
necessarily.
a way, because you've started the business.
Yeah,
so
you can see it as a problem, or you can see it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Or an opportunity, right? Okay, this has gone wrong, this is an opportunity. Okay, great. No, I can't deal with that, but how do I deal with that?
I've heard that business is I don't know much about business, no one done it in my family or anything, but I've heard from people, now that I'm interested in that it is just a continual set of problems that never stops.
Correct.
You don't solve one, oh yeah, I made, I've got profit, as in, you just continually solve problems, and the better you become at that, the better your business
that's the
is.
key. That's the key. It's your coping strategy.
Wow.
And that's hard, man, because I'm an emotional person, I'm a service person. Oh, is everything okay? So I get affected quite badly, problem after problem. So this is the journey. Crisis, 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 major crisis.
So you say problems, but the thing is, I think there are things we need. It's like for calmness, you need, like to follow your joy, you need calmness in your life.
Right.
Because if you're howling one, no, I have to do this, I have to finish this, and I need to pay this, but you're not going to give yourself permission.
Absolutely.
So to problem solve, we need calmness too.
Yes.
But we also need energy, which calmness for me, what people don't realise, when I say I'm shining light on calmness, and a lot of people just assume I'm talking about how to react calmly in stressful situations. There's a lot more to it.
Totally. That's a training right there.
Yeah.
Count to 10 before you answer.
That's just reaction, responding rather than reacting.
Right.
But then there's calm environment, which clearly affects your mind. The calmness of your home, the calmness of your day-to-day activities, the calmness of your desires.
Yeah.
But what I think people don't think about, which is more key than any of these things, is energy. If you are just throwing your energy out at everything and everyone, and not yourself on what makes you happy, or making your home into your safest, most beautiful haven, the place that you're happiest in, then you're going away from calmness in a way. For me, finding calmness and wanting to share what I've come to learn about calmness, a lot of it came from a couple of years of really learning how to respect what I see as the energy reserve, something that cannot be filled up with just one good sleep. And when you've suffered from multiple burnouts, you can't just get over that with one holiday, one sleep, one meditation, whatever. It's going to take years. That's what I think people aren't. One of the things I almost want to help people do is decide to treat themselves a bit better before they burn out for that first, second or third time, because it is reversible. I'm working on it. I feel it's reversible, but it's not quick.
Okay.
And this is why Vache Community wants to shine a light on all the things calming, because it sounds to me like you might need to find a few more things to put under your belt. Because for me, it's finger knitting, it's walking, it's cooking fresh every day, it's Tai Chi, it's gardening, it's gratitude, affirmations, it's drawing, it's doing my daughter's hair at night in a plait. It's lots and lots of things that connect me to quietness and internal quietness.
Love it.
But I need all of those things.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, and you're right.
I think we all need more things.
Definitely.
So, have you got any experience with meditation? No, it's fine. No,
a
yes,
little
sometimes.
bit, but I haven't found any technique that I feel works for me. So I've dabbled. It's a lady called Michelle Madden.
Oh yeah, I've met her on LinkedIn.
So I've done one of her free on LinkedIn workshops, which is about focusing on parts of your body and the breath work. I cannot quieten my mind.
Great thing to
Find
notice.
anything that works for me. I'm literally thinking all the time.
But just hold that thought.
I'll
Not
try.
too much. No, just don't let that, like you said, don't brush it under the carpet. You said you're on a journey now of dealing with things. In Tai Chi, we always commend people for noticing. because they'll bring that thing up, but with almost an upset in themselves. You know, like you're critiquing yourself while you're saying this thing, but actually the journey to letting that self-critic go and just notice what you notice and hold that noticing. It's like the first step to any change. The noticing is key. You can't change it if you don't notice it.
Right.
So you've noticed you're not fully able to quieten your mind and it's quite noisy. We can definitely help you. I can definitely help keep suggesting what to try and do. Because meditation is fast, but I did a lot of it and yet I never adopted it as daily practice.
Yeah.
And that was another thing I would critique about myself. Oh, you're an idiot. Why don't you give yourself this thing that you know is so helpful for you? I just didn't. I didn't do meditation daily till Tai Chi, but I feel quite lucky that I'd found something that I just want to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I just love it. Ever since my first class in September 2019, I went home and I wanted to practice what they'd shown me, and I did it every day until I went back the next week, and that's now ramped up to maybe 2 or 3 times a day. I practice.
That's brilliant.
Because my own form, intermediate level, and then the form I teach beginners, they're at 2 completely different levels, so I have to keep the separation. And then there's all the little bits of habit that I'm trying to undo in my form, so that's a different way of practicing.
Okay.
Then I spend a lot of time maybe just doing standing, the preparation posture, because in Tai Chi, like, you quieten down internally first, and then the goal is to take that quietness with you throughout the movement.
Okay.
Very challenging stuff.
Wow.
It's why it looks beautiful and easy, but the irony is it's not easy. So.
You look great when you did your
I did a little tiny bit of form there just to start with some centeredness.
I'm not centered.
Have you ever tried Tai Chi?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did you
I
try?
went to lessons.
Brilliant.
That's all. I can see myself doing it. Where I was, can't remember.
Did you enjoy it?
With the work, yeah. I love learning. I love trying new things.
Any reason?
My mind is a sponge to new things.
But it wasn't a thing you went, this is me, I just want to do this.
Probably not, no. Or I would have done it for longer, I think.
Okay.
Or I just flit around.
It's all right, I did
Which
a lot
is
of
my
flitting.
personality.
People look down on flitting, don't they?
I should live in Flitwick.
But I think if you don't flit about, how can you find
Yeah, that right.
find your true self and what makes you tick?
Be open to new things, always.
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 Stay curious.
Stay curious.
Pilates, yoga.
I've tried that. Yeah, I've done
Both?
yoga. Yeah.
Did you find them calming?
Yeah.
The reason I'll always bring them up is for me
Definitely.
they were like key to my journey towards Tai Chi. I
Okay.
got from Pilates a respect for my body, I guess, to spend time with it at least once a week for an hour, to be gentle with it. Like, I've gone from like pole training,
Oh, wow.
so I was being really naughty to my body and doing like step lifts and all this strength, the yang energy stuff, and then it was Pilates, just gentle stretches. No, I started it to sort my back out from the pole, but actually I found I loved that this woman, Laura, next interview article coming up, she just taught me how to like sculpt my body without ever breaking a sweat.
Amazing.
And it was the first time I ever felt like I could achieve something without forcing.
Having to go for it.
Go, like energy.
Yeah.
So it was a real key part of my journey.
Yeah, so I'm a member of the gym group in Hemel, and they have a yoga class. And
Do you still go?
I do, yeah. So all you can focus on
Is
is doing the right move. You've got the lulling music, and you've got the instructor talking. So I don't think about work.
I feel like
Great.
it's probably mindfulness in motion, like what they call Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Mindfulness in motion,
Definitely.
you're attending, but it's very I think it's up there in self-care.
Yes, I'm sure.
They're very different, Pilates, yoga and Tai Chi, and I've experienced them all quite a lot, but they all give me some sort of, self-care is a good word.
So if you had an hour of spare time and there was a yoga opportunity or a Pilates opportunity, what would make you choose either?
How my back felt that day. I garden every day. So, but I mean, if my back was nicely warmed up and I felt quite energetic, I'd probably go for yoga, because I know there's lots of different forms of yoga, but I've done forms of yoga that are tough.
Bruce.
Yoga can be tough.
Right, yeah, they're not easy. They're certainly not.
I remember I didn't know that, and a friend had bought me a video, and I was pregnant with my first child, and I was quite heavily pregnant, and I thought, I'll try the yoga video, and it had like sun salutations in. I'm trying to get on the floor with my big belly. I was, what is this? Like, yeah, that was challenging. Whereas there are challenging moves in. Like, I'll never forget Laura's the 100. Have you ever done that?
No.
Oh my God, the 100 is hard work, but most of it very gentle and very pleasing.
Okay.
So if I was feeling a bit, I don't know, tense and stiff, I'd probably pick Pilates.
Okay.
If I was feeling a bit more energetic, I'd pick yoga.
Oh, okay.
But it depends what form.
Gives you great tone though, doesn't it? It gives you great muscle definition, I think, doing held stretches.
Because you know, my first two interviews, and I asked my Tai Chi teacher and my mindfulness teacher, what else do you think can calm the mind? What's the most important? They both said exercise.
Yeah.
Both of them
I love
said
going to the
that.
gym. I love my gym.
The movement of your body. So I feel like I get my meditation and my exercise from Tai Chi. But I've always found swimming very meditative. Like, as soon as I go under the water, it's like I can't think. I can only feel the water.
Okay.
So it's just a natural thing. So, walking. Do you walk?
Love it, yeah, I walk a lot. At least 5,000 steps, and I know the target is 10, but that's, I think, more for weight loss.
So walking is one of your quietude practices.
Yeah, I love walking.
Hold on to it.
Yeah, and I'm going.
Will you do it? Will you give yourself a walk if you feel overwhelmed?
And that's another thing, when you're the pressure of you should be working.
No, you should feel good. And
You have to do
well.
what works for you, and you have to give yourself permission to do that. Go for a walk at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because it's good for you.
I think
Not
it's
because it should be
sustainable working. You want to
I
build
work
your
in
business and what you're doing
I work in
sustainably, right? So
Sustainably,
that's
yeah.
what I mean. Which doesn't just mean, you know, eco-friendly
It's
products. It's
repeatable.
you.
You have to keep
Can
doing
you keep doing it?
Bingo.
Yeah, that's why the walk's important.
You
It's
don't
part of
do
the
it if
business.
you can't keep doing it. Which is why don't do a 2-hour cardio session, because it's not sustainable.
Force nothing.
Correct.
There you go. It's key to calmness. Gardening.
No, not my bag.
It's fine.
Not my bag. That is definitely something that goes in that I don't have time for.
That's
category.
right. It is hard work.
Yeah,
and I was putting it
yeah.
off until retirement. But I didn't know how much I loved it, because I always just thought of it as one of my mum's passions.
Sure, okay.
But she passed that on, and when I had my first, chance to just get into it, where I wanted to explore things, I love it. Just set me on a journey.
Amazing.
So curious still about all nature has to teach me, and the things I can grow, and I'm learning like year on year. So
Well, that should be taught in school, don't you think?
I do
Where food
think
comes from.
financial literacy,
Yep.
growing food, and
Yeah.
emotional.
Yeah.
like,
DIY.
literacy.
How to
Yeah.
manage a car. All of those things that when you leave education, you haven't got a clue about, right?
Yep. Spas. I'm going down my quietude list.
Spas.
Do you go to spas? Do you like a spa?
Yes. Yes.
They're calming.
I love a massage. Oh my
There you
gosh. I have a massage every day.
So would I.
I would.
I'm so
That's the
tactile.
one.
It is
Love
like one of the most relaxing
Love it.
thing. Yeah, I'm with you there. I
And
found
that's really
massage
why I
very
love
calming.
giving them. Training to give them.
We swap massages in my family. Me and my partner do a lot, and even my little ones. Because I don't know, I'll ask for them more. They don't really care. I might wait till you're older and you've got aches and pains.
Yeah.
But they all know very well. Mummy just I'm like a cat. If you just stroke, I feel
Stroke my
sleepy
hair.
very quickly. I've got this theory that I've got underlying tiredness still from all the burnout, and as soon as someone touches me, I connect to it. So it's
yeah, I'm with you. I get it.
Teas?
Tea? No, never been a tea drinker.
No?
Tea? No.
It sounds quite random maybe, but I'm interested in how tea could be calming because people bring it up in different ways.
Okay.
And I know there is like ritualistic tea, but I've not gone deep into that yet. But yeah, just even that, do you like
it's the
put a
English.
kettle on and use that as a moment?
Yeah, I get it. I get
You
it.
get it,
I've
but you don't
done
do it.
I've done it sometimes, especially with my husband. But is it a put-off? Is it a put-off mechanism for something you should be doing?
What, have a cup of tea?
Yeah. Or is it for, I'm just going to take 15 minutes and have a cup of tea?
I think it can be very mindful. It depends how you do it. I drink a lot of herbal tea. I've got my mindfulness teacher in my head in terms of like that can always be your moment of. So, but then anything can. Lots of people have suggested me things you can do mindfully, brushing your teeth, washing up, anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could just use that moment of putting the kettle on and making it as long as you're not thinking about anything else and just
it's
attending.
psychological, isn't it? It's a psychological. I'm having a cup of tea, which means I'm going to go and sit down. I'm going to put my feet up.
Yeah.
So that's definitely calming.
Especially where you do it. When I worked in the research departments, when you get out of your office to go into the corridor to use the Nespresso machine,
Right.
or whatever, that is like permission. I'm available for chit chat if you want. Kind of, it was your moment to be free.
And there is. Have you heard of the water cooler event? The water cooler conference.
No.
So the water cooler conference, as it says on the tin, is for well-being. Because what you do in an office, you chit-chat at the water cooler, and that's when you build the relationships, you discuss a project you're working on. And since COVID, we didn't have water cooler moments because nobody went to the office. So the organisers, I forget what company they are, now have the water cooler conference once a year in either Excel, Kensington Olympia in April, so I'm going.
Invite me.
April. And it's all about well-being. Well-being companies go and, buy it and rent a stand.
Never even heard of it.
A water cooler.
I'll have to put it on my map to be there for next year.
Or come with me in April, 25th to 26th of April. Go for free.
Why not? Are you just going to
I'm going
look?
to look, yeah, because the
Oh,
stands
there,
are
yay!
horrendous.
More time with Vanessa.
Let's go. Yeah.
So, I know you already admitted you haven't got enough things that calm you, but have I missed something? Is there anything else you might do?
That's a good question.
You do art, you walk, you do yoga.
Go to my gym.
Yeah.
I do weight training in the gym. Strength training.
I'm just building up to doing it. I really want to do it.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
on my
you
back.
must. Stop you falling when you're older, because that's good. Gym, walks, I cook.
Yep. You find cooking calming?
No, but it's good for you.
It can be. Do you ever find cooking calming?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's time consuming. But I batch cook now because of the gym. I try and batch cook stews and chicken carne and chicken and rice.
Nice.
What do I find calming? I'm a musician, so I sing and
yes.
play piano. I have a music business, which is actually at the
I
moment
didn't know that. You still have a music business.
doing quite well. I'm trying to fade that one out and do more art and crafts. Time will tell. And I love crime dramas. I love my TV. That's my cup of tea. I'm going to watch X at 9:30, but I will do origami at the same time.
Oh no,
So I can't just watch.
Because I think if I just sat and watch TV, I used to think that was a calming thing to do.
Right.
No, but now that I've learned how to align myself, it's almost like I was saying this to a teacher. I can't almost you've ruined me. I can't slouch and feel comfortable because I'm aware of how unaligned and it adds a lot of tension not being aligned.
Interesting.
They were just laughing at me. Like I have to make an effort to just slouch, but I can feel how uncomfortable it is. But if I sit up, I tend to just sit on the floor in front of the sofa now so that I can actually have a decent back and then do some fingering. So I'm kind of just listening to the program.
I'm going to look that one up. I think that's a good call.
I'm preparing to do a workshop on it.
Oh, come
I
on.
am. Because basically I ditch the needles,
Yeah,
use super chunky
accessible.
chenille, and then you're connected to it the whole time.
I'll come. Sign me up.
And then your moments where you just put it on your face.
Sign me
I'm
up.
so tactile. I will. I'll talk to you about that more.
Lovely.
So what do you think, in your experience, are the benefits of calmness? The difference? Anything that comes to mind? What is calmness good for?
Yeah, I think it depends what you're doing to make you calm. So, calming workshops are empowering because you're teaching someone a new skill
Yes.
and you're making them switch off for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's going to depend on the exercise in its broadest sense.
You just made me think of the thing I like the idea of. What I love about workshops is that, for me, it's like the link between Pilates and Tai Chi. If you're involved with helping people try things,
Yes.
that doesn't have to be their number one thing that they end up going and do, but you don't know how it's going to connect them later, so they go, oh, I've tried that, let me go and try this other material,
Correct.
and they might find their thing.
Correct.
So I'm happy to be involved. That's why I'm interested in putting together some workshops, because I think teaching people skills could lead them on their path of resonance and curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why you have to be open to learning new things.
Yes. But we need calmness for that, is what I've learned, because we ignore our resonance. Things will come out at us all the time, and we get almost in a habit when we're too busy and too tightly wound up to be saying things like, oh, I can't deal with that. Why is that? Like, as in you almost question it, get annoyed with it. And I don't have time for that, and I can't even.
Yeah, I don't have time. Well, you do.
I don't have time.
If it's important enough, right? If it's important
But
enough.
I think you've got time to write that thing on a post-it note and leave it there where you can see it for a while. So at least you know that jumped out at you. You don't know what you're going to do about it yet, but you're not ignoring yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's a key skill. I use post-it notes a lot to find my
There is
own
research done behind writing things down, whether it be a goal or a problem. You write it down, your subconscious then works out how you're going to solve it.
Yeah, it's real, it's there.
Yeah, and you might be on a walk and it comes to you out of nowhere. Have you ever
Walks are
experienced
key.
that?
Yes, I think walks are key for inspired ideas. And I was saying this to someone the other day, that what if, I've got this massive question I almost want to hash out in interviews. What if the more overwhelmed we are with stuff we haven't dealt with, then basically, if you try to have a moment of silence or go for a walk or doing meditation, what comes at you is all those unresolved things. But the more you deal with them and the more you calm the waters and start to declutter your own mind with the help of people, like I needed help to do it, then actually what comes at you is curiosity, ideas, resonance.
Yes.
So I think we
People are
need.
an ally.
Now I wonder if the creative source that people talk about, it is in the quiet place. It is from the quiet place, and you can access it when you quieten down the quiet place.
100%.
Love that an artist said 100%. Because for me, it's just like, what if?
That still like, you need that still like.
To connect creativity and ideas. But to listen to your ideas and explore them, to say, oh, I had that idea, let me write it on a post-it note
Write
now,
it down.
and when I've got time or I
Otherwise
get
it's
back
gone.
to it,
And it
I'll
might-
explore the idea.
That might be the one.
Yeah.
And you forget. You have to write it down. Have a journal by your bed. With paper and a pen.
That's been my experience from taking my mind from cluttered and painful memories and things I haven't dealt with. I haven't planted a tree for mum yet, and I haven't done this, and all these little things. You think they're little, but they mount up. But then once you've done them, you've planted the tree, gone for it, you did that, done that. I actually started to create space for my ideas and my creativity. And guess what? I started creating again after years.
And how good does it feel when you do
Feels amazing.
tick something off? Done it. That's your energy
Completion.
to do the next thing.
Yeah, and that was a key thing I was doing wrong for myself. Too many things at once, so no completion. No direction.
Yeah.
So everything's undone and unfinished.
That's terrible.
But you
isn't it?
declutter, and you go, okay, it's now these three things.
That's it.
And then you can just put your energy starts coming back, 'cause you've got less clutter.
Yeah.
And then you can actually start dealing with the things you want to deal with.
Yeah.
And hence, you know.
And turn your notifications off on your phone, that's another tip. Don't be distracted by external pings and pongs.
Yeah, the guy that I was talking to the other day, Chris Norris, I hope you're doing it, he said, I don't want to check my social media first thing in the morning. And I said, well, don't.
Yeah,
And he went, "Oh."
don't.
Oh, and I went, just don't.
Yeah, leave your phone off.
I don't check mine at all at the weekend. And he went, what? And I went, I just don't. Just don't touch
It's not
it.
important.
I mean, if I have to, but I don't. I just say to myself, that's not a weekend thing. But you know, I always have Bill Gates himself ringing in my head. He said something useful. I think this was useful. He said he never starts his day on the defence. He starts it on the offence. So as in, he will never answer anyone's email.
Yeah.
If he wants to send emails out,
He'll
send them.
Okay. Yeah.
It's good advice.
You're creating your own life, aren't you?
And this is the man that doesn't even let his own kids apparently use his own products.
His kids don't have Microsoft.
Yeah, I think I've heard stories like that. They're not allowed
Really?
to have devices. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
him, but yeah.
Well, we'll take his advice for sure.
Okay, the last little section is just recommendations in your field, basically. So things like, is there any book or books, any key art books that you think that is the go-to?
No, but I can recommend some business books.
Oh yes, please.
So everything's been written about. There's no new book on the market. It's just saying something that's we already know.
But what have
different
been
words,
really
right?
helpful for you or key books for you?
Brian Tracy
Okay.
is amazing, and How to Think Big. And I've just forgotten the author. It's in my bag. This book.
Love it. Show us the book.
I've just forgotten the guy. David Schwartz, The Power of Thinking Big, or Magic of Thinking Big. And this is all about how to be the best person you can possibly be and get success at the same time. This was written in the 70s. So
Old books
my
are
point
great. I
is,
love old books.
everything, we know everything about, how to be successful, how to have a business. You just got to do it. You just got to action things.
I love the
right?
question if there was no limitations, if money wasn't a thing,
Yes,
and you had no
great question.
limitation, what would you
do?
do?
Yeah,
It's
brilliant.
a great exercise.
Yeah,
for
what
trying
would your answer be?
Oh, lots of things. One of the things is, please don't anyone nick this idea, I would create the Hertfordshire Maze.
Okay,
That's
what's
one
that?
thing.
We don't want to say what it
Maze, sweet corn maze. Have you ever been to a
No.
maze?
I've not heard of it.
See, I don't know if it would make money, but I would do it because I want to do it. Oh my gosh, we'll go to a maze. It's one of my favourite things in life.
I've never heard of that.
It's like a maze, like the
Maze?
hedge mazes,
Yeah,
you
hedge
get
maze,
palaces,
yes.
but made out of sweet corn.
Oh,
Running
a maze.
around.
M-A-I-Z.
A maze.
And what's
Yes.
so special about that?
I just love them. Follow your joy. No, but I've lots of things like that. Yeah, if money was an option and time, I could create what I wanted.
So it exists. A
They
maze maze.
exist around the country.
Okay.
Absolutely. Was like, when I went to my first one, honestly, I was like running around with arms out, singing, and I just found some joy in the maze.
That's
I
amazing.
Can't explain.
That's amazing.
So if anyone wants to start that project with me, please. But yeah, I think I haven't started because I need land, and I need, even though I'm into like no-till machine, no heavy machinery type of gardening.
Okay.
I've accepted that we probably need the machinery to dig out the maze structure,
Okay.
put in the big
Amazing.
fencing. Amazing! But I'm just giving you an example. There's
Yeah.
not what I've realised is all the things I probably create are like outdoor type businesses and community interest companies and services and things that would help.
Fantastic.
Loads of ideas.
Oh my gosh.
So I just had to sort of not declutter them, put them to the side, and I definitely, while I was homeschooling for a year and a half and taking time out to try and recover from all my bad behaviour to myself, I definitely spent a lot of time trying to align my skills, my curiosity, my passion and my connections, and I did arrive. I arrived at Quietude Community. it is
That's the
based
thing.
on me, my background, the new me, my connections, and the ones that I want to grow, and yeah, what I want to share with the world now. Which is,
Amazing. Yeah, brilliant.
it's different. It's a very different way of living. Teachers, do you follow any artists or art teachers or
I
business
follow
gurus?
specialists in their field, yeah, because that's what you need to be a successful artist. So I follow Brandon Robbins, who
Okay.
does amazing dot art.
Great.
I follow an Australian quilling artist called Justine. I don't know her surname because her website is Justine Designs.
Okay.
She does really intricate quilling art. So I follow people that I deem are better than me. Isn't that interesting? That's imposter syndrome again kicking in.
No.
But they're inspirational. They are at the top of their field in their chosen art. And that's what it takes.
I've heard
Yeah.
that, it's just a little theory, that the optimal place to be in life is in the middle
Okay.
of teachers that you're learning from, of any
Okay.
kind.
So you're better
And
than
then
some.
the people that you're,
Right.
yeah, you're in the middle.
Okay.
You're learning.
I'm
And
inspired.
you're passing it on.
I can help. Okay, I like that. I like that. I'd
It's
like to
optimal.
go up there a bit.
If you're above, I see this in my main, I don't want to call him Sifu, senior teacher, mentor, Kevin, that when you become that high up in your speciality,
Yeah.
you've got this issue of less feedback,
Okay.
and yet he still wants to learn, and people
I
still
love
want to learn.
That's
So you
in
remain
my
an
veins.
apprentice forever,
Yes.
and yet you get to this point of like, why won't you just give me feedback? And it's like, because
you-
you're so good.
You've mastered it.
You're so
I
good,
love
what is there to
that.
say?
What more
But
can
now
you
I almost
learn?
feel sorry that I'm going to make an effort to find feedback for Kevin. Not in the like critique, but he's very much like me. He wants the feedback.
Yeah.
It's
So
not a
what
thing
does
of
Kevin
like,
do?
he's my Tai Chi teacher.
He's Tai Chi and he's at the top of his game, is he? Is he like a expert tutor?
He's
What
20
do you
years
call-
in. He's senior level 9 or something. The 9 get like, you know, it's high up. TCF
Okay.
is global, but
Okay.
in our school he's by far the most senior teacher, and all the other
Okay.
teachers were his apprentices. He's taught them, so
But is he
we're
happy?
all like, oh my God, he's one of the most happiest people I've ever met.
Right, but he's at the top of his field.
Yeah, but one of the
Okay.
only things he's ever, I wouldn't say he's ever moaned to me ever in the years I've known him, but he's got a slight issue of the lacking feedback, because who do you get feedback from if everybody sees you as... So
it's
what I'm
always
seeing,
going to be positive.
yeah, I feel like he's lost that optimal position
Okay.
almost.
Okay, that's really
Not having a
interesting.
master to learn
Mm.
from.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Every
really
boss has
appreciate
a
that.
boss,
Yeah.
don't they?
It was a really interesting conversation, and I committed to finding feedback from being slightly like, as in not being scared to tell him.
Yeah.
At least.
That's brilliant. I
Yes.
like that a lot. I've never really thought of that. Yeah.
So when are you done? I've got 2 more questions. Have you got any tools or tips for finding calmness in art or craft? And if that's a bit broad, maybe something about maybe like something. What could someone do for just 5 minutes a day?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question. Look something up on YouTube to inspire you. That's how I found acrylic pouring. I said to my husband 5 years ago, I'm losing my eyesight, so I can't draw detailed patterns. What else can I do artistically?
What
That's-
can I do is a key question. When
Right.
you focus on what you can't do, you become very miserable.
What can I do instead?
What
Yeah.
can I do?
And I found acrylic pouring.
What could I do with this wrist was key for my recovery.
Right, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what can I do?
instead? Yeah. Yeah, so just be open-minded. YouTube is a great source of inspiration. You can type
It
in
is.
keywords.
Do you know what you just brought to mind? I was doing Disney art classes with my daughter on YouTube, and they've got every character. So you know
Absolutely.
Elsa,
It's
like
incredible.
drew so many pictures together. We did.
Yeah, so go there for inspiration if you can't think of something for yourself.
Go to YouTube.
If you're a visual learner, YouTube.
Do you know what I like about that,
Books.
Vanessa? It's free.
Yeah,
And even if people don't have a pad, they can use the back of an envelope
yes,
or whatever.
yeah.
Because for a lot of service users where I've worked in the past and they were looking for something to help, we call it a coping mechanism, distraction technique, and it called lots of things. But I used to like recommending, if they were into the idea, buying just an adult colouring book, because it is quite a small investment, and yet it can be that first little gift to yourself for sitting and colouring.
Yeah.
So lots of people were interested in that, but lots of people don't want colour.
Yeah.
They don't like that suggestion. So yeah, YouTube opens you up to.
Yeah, that's.
What would you suggest?
I
Just
wouldn't
put
have
in
my
like an
business
art,
without YouTube.
free art class. Like, what's the thing to put into YouTube?
Creative activities,
Yes.
crafting activities, things to do with my kids, or just learn about people. There's biographies on there. That, you know, it's whatever. Just type some words. Just type some words and see what comes up.
Yeah, explore.
But don't sit there for 2 hours scrolling through YouTube. You're doing
Do
it for
something.
a purpose. Write down the purpose of why you're on there, because it's a rabbit hole.
I'm going to throw in the emphasis on the doing something.
You have to
Because
get
if you just
something
watch,
out
you
of
just
it.
watch what the algorithm's throwing at you.
Yeah.
That's not. But if you pick something, get the piece of paper or even the back of the envelope, get the pencil, do this
Just
doing.
try it.
Just try it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't enjoy it, so what? Find something else.
Yeah. The point is, keep trying.
Yes, I'm with you on that. Okay, last question. And it's actually half past. It's perfect timing. Any local quiet places or parks that you love?
Oh, yes. Yes. In Hemel, there's a very small hill with a bench on the top. And you look down into the valley and you look across to the fields.
It's not Gatebridge.
No, it's not Gatebridge. Gatebridge is in the valley,
Okay.
but it's just a small footpath that goes through a field, but it's on the top of a hill and there's a bench.
How do we find the footpath?
It's near Turner's Hill. Oh, it's in Hemel, near the big Tesco Extra, but it's
Okay.
in a residential area. But it's just a small path, and I've been there. I used to volunteer for Age UK, and I visited an elderly gentleman once a week. That's great for calmness.
Volunteering.
Volunteering for other people.
I've always recommended it.
He died because of COVID.
One of the reasons it's good for
Unfortunately.
calmness.
But it's not about you. It's about someone
You connect
else.
to other great people giving up their time.
You can do, yeah, I didn't, but you can do.
You can, especially when you tried so many voluntary jobs like me. It's very hard to have this narrative that lots of people can get, which is unhelpful for calmness and happiness, that the world's difficult and people are, they're all selfish and no one will help you if you need it.
Oh, they will if you ask.
That's a very tough narrative to live with, and yet if you do lots of voluntary work, you can undo all that and say the world's full of great people.
Right, yeah,
And
that's
great
a whole
services.
other podcast for you.
Trying to focus on one thing.
But calmness, volunteering, because it all of a sudden makes it about somebody or something else, not you, and that is so rewarding.
Yeah, and you can even volunteer to just be part of a community gardening project where you don't even have to talk to other people.
Anything.
You can just sit
How can I help?
and seed or
Question
weed.
mark. Yeah, definitely. And I used to take him to that bench.
I was just thinking about this
Picnic.
bench, just back to the
Just like
bench.
picnics.
So you're saying it's a place you can sit on your own and
You can
look
sit on
down,
your own, yeah,
and
look
it's
into-
quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet. Just the odd walker.
Perfect. So you could go and read
So
there,
nature.
and just watch.
I love nature for calmness.
Nature's key for calmness.
Yeah, and that's the walking, isn't it?
So at my most uncalm, just before I took the transition, working in an office, in academia, doing a PhD, it was all inside, it was all reading, writing, it was laptop. What am I trying to say? I was devoid of nature. I had no connection with it. I wasn't gardening, I wasn't walking much. I did go for lunchtime walks, I was trying, but they were always on campus.
Okay.
So I found like calmness for me, and it's outside and it's doing, but everyone's different. If people work outside all day long, every day, and really hard work, their calmness balance might be indoors. You see.
Yes.
And not everyone needs to calm down. Some people need to speed up and do more.
Yes.
It's
That's
just about balance. I was on that side of the extreme side, so I needed this, and that's why I want to shine light on. it for people who also need it.
I think
There are lots of people who are winding themselves up way too tightly.
I think the breath thing is really a good technique if you can master it, don't you?
Definitely, because like I was saying to you in Tai Chi, you quieten down internally first. But I do that with the breath. It's not just the breath, it is in the alignment. So the connection from the crown, the roots in your feet, not holding tension in your hips and your lower back, shoulders. You have to try and release as much of that as possible. But then doing that and connecting to breath without trying to breathe deeper, you can actually, over time, learn to breathe right down into your dantian. So at first I was only probably breathing to there, that's quite normal. It's just a very shallow breath.
Okay.
Once you can experience this sort of depth of breathing, it's a whole different way of being. Because the more quiet you are inside, the more aware you can be externally. So your whole perception sort of shifts.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not noisy anymore. And because I do this every day, without fail, at least once, what I like to explain to people is, I think it's a thing of familiarity. Imagine if you've got a place to go where you feel so safe and calm and content, and you don't need anything. So then the more time you spend there, the more you recognise that feeling. So then whenever something pulls you away, you start to recognise it. And then so that's what's changed. It's why I don't tend to react now in emotion or get overwhelmed. It's because I think, ooh, I feel a bit uncentered. So then I can much more quickly say, oh, whether I know the trigger or not, just accept the experience of that I'm starting to feel a bit noisy or a bit overwhelmed or whatever, and do something about it.
That's amazing. But that's taken you a long time, I think, to train that way.
But I had to be awful to myself for a long time as well. I don't think it just doesn't, I think it's human nature. We don't just wake up and go, do you know what? I'm just going to be great to myself now, or I'm going to treat myself well. It's like we have to almost go right to the depth of, have a reason to not do that to ourselves anymore. So for me, it's bone density, it's lots of things, but bone density is a big player in the reason why I self-care now every single day. I want to believe that I can increase my bone density. And that's why I lit up when you said weight training, because I've come to realise weight-bearing exercise is key.
Vital.
And now I've seen enough old people who have done this and had the bone density scans and have great bone density.
So,
As in, I want to learn from people that can do it. That's what's changed and why I position myself to shine a light on people that are doing the good stuff now, rather than working in where you sort of pick up the mess one person at a time and you help one person up. It's what I read to know when you said massage and music, it's like one person at a time. Not knocking it, I'll never regret that. I've loved helping one person at a time, but what if we can help lots of people at once?
Right.
And ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good goal.
And I used to measure my statistics with the weight training, and I did go up in bone density very, very slightly at one point, from 5.8 to 5.9, but I'm back down to 5.8. But I guess that proves that you can increase osteocytes.
Did you lose a lot of weight quickly?
No, I'm going up.
Do you have any? What makes you think you lost bone density? Like how?
I have smart scales, so it told me I put on bone density.
Oh, I'll have to ask you about that myself.
Yeah, so you can. A slow process though, but it's living matter, bone cells.
Yeah, I've been reading. It's really bones are fascinating.
Yeah, bones are. Yeah, you need strong bones.
You need hope, is what I think I'm hearing here that I want to share. We need hope, and there are lots of ways to get hope, and just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep trying things.
Forward. Have a goal.
Stay curious.
Write it down.
Nourish yourself. Invest in yourself.
And make little steps. Not big steps, because that's unachievable. Break the big steps down to tiny, tiny steps and do a tiny step. If you want to go for a run, what's the first step to go for a run? It's not go for a run.
Put on your shoes.
It's put your trainers by the front door. Or even find your trainers. Right? Tick. Next day they go by the front door.
You just touched on another key to calmness,
Little
and that
steps.
is, if there's a task you're not getting done, break it down
Correct.
into even smaller tasks.
So they're achievable.
So that thing of put your shoes on or put them by the door.
Put them by the door.
If you put your shoes on, you're more likely to go outside, don't you?
Yeah, but if you don't go outside, you failed in your head. So break them down so they are achievable first time. So just put them by the door. Second time, just put them on, walk around the house.
It's interesting. Like jogging and weight training, the two things that I'm building up to facing. I love walking, but I'm not a natural jogger or runner, but I'm going to give it a go.
That's not so good for you.
It's because I've stopped swimming as much.
Yeah.
But I just want to feel I'm getting my cardio for hope of healthy ageing. And yeah, I think I get it through cycling and walking. But I tend to miss swimming. Yeah, I cycle a lot.
That's great.
Just trying to live a healthy life and be happy, and it is
It's
working.
hard.
I can't, as you know, the doing is the doing. You can think about all the changes you want to make, but once you do them,
Taking action. You don't get anywhere if you don't take action. That's my tip. Take action, no matter how small it is. That's my one tip.
I think that's a good place to leave it.
Cool.
Hopefully we can inspire people. That's the point. If
Yeah.
we've inspired anyone to try anything new, art or anything, it's calmness.
Tiny step. Just do it. JFDI.
And to find you and book workshops, come to Vache Bleue. Lots of abundance here.
Indeed. Yeah. Half glass full, if you can. Hard at times, but if you can.
So thank you.
You're welcome, Rachel. Nice to meet you, Mum. Nice to talk.
Can't wait to post this.
Oh, thank you very much.